What is up, YouTube? We're back with another YouTube video. We're here with a Crown Tier 3 mission guide for the mission Bottom of the Barrel. Now you can see I'm trying to find the dialogue as well as the task and everything when it comes to what you're going to need to do for this. And it's not popping up in my previous tier missions. So unfortunately I lost that. But you can see on the right side of the screen I still have it for the objectives. And it says trade the shopkeeper a bottle of liquor in exchange for the key code. Enter the code into the locked room keypad in the Alpha Cluster entrance, then extract the research documents from the room. Now, pretty much what you need to know for this is we have to go to the Koshai complex, which is underneath Al Mazrah. So what we're going to do is hop in-game and show you how you can get this done. So now that you're spawning into Al Mazrah, there's two things you're going to have to ask yourself as soon as you spawn in. One, what entrance am I going to use to get into the Koshai complex? There is a total of 4. There's 1 unmarked entrance as well as 3 marked ones by question marks on the map. And then the second question is going to be, what am I going to do in terms of finding liquor? Am I going to loot for it in Al Mazrah and then go into the Koshai complex? Or am I going to go into the Koshai complex and then loot for it afterwards? But whatever your answers are, here's your first entrance for the Koshai complex. It's going to be in the desert oasis area here. And this one is unmarked, like I said. You just have to approach it and then you're going to find an excavation site. Go further inside and then you're going to find it there. Your next one is going to be by Tarek Village underneath this bridge. So just go underneath the bridge and then work your way inside. It's very simple to find that one. And now for the second one in Rohan Oil. This one is going to be located in the underpass portion. And do be careful when you go to this one because there is going to be a lot of AI around it. Rohan Oil usually has a bunch of AI in it. And as you approach it, it's going to be a denied area with armored enemies and stuff. But here you can see the Al Mazrah City one, which is what I'm going to be using. And this one is just located within a parking lot. But if you are going to go into this one, just know you're going to have to follow along what I'm doing here. And make sure you get a jumper cable and car battery before you go in to make this a whole lot easier. So why am I telling you to bring a car battery and a jumper cable? It's because you want to make a makeshift power supply. And you're going to need 2 of them. 1 to exit initially and then 1 to open Alpha Cluster. So you can see I found a car battery in this one. Unfortunately, no jumper cable, so I am going to have to go and loot another gas station. But these items are very common loot drops in Al Mazrah. You can find these in gas stations, warehouses, wherever. Just make sure when you find one, you put in your inventory. Here you're going to see I'm going to find my jumper cable. And I am going to pick up another one just because I'm going to need it. You did notice there I did find a jumper cable and car battery in the same gas station. So now that I have those, I can go towards the Al Mazrah City entrance. Again, if you want to find your liquor before going to the Koshai complex in Al Mazrah, make sure you find it now. If not, you're going to have to only loot for it inside the Koshai complex. So you can see we're making our way into the parking lot and we're going to go inside. And remember, we do have our car battery and our jumper cable to make this a lot easier. So we're going to drop. And then over here, you're going to find the big bunker door. You're going to have to go and interact with it. You're going to see it says travel to Koshai complex. Then I'm going to hold up on D-pad and it's going to say to confirm travel. You can see I'm going to confirm it. Now we're making our way to the Koshai complex. Here is where you may get several loading screens. If you're on old gen like Xbox One or PS4, it may take a little longer compared to my PC or just other new generation consoles. So just be very mindful of that. But if you do see a couple black screens and loading screens, that's very normal. Just know to expect that. But when it comes now to loading in, here you can see it's pretty much just a little sped up. But when you spawn in, you are going to have just one linear path. From this point forward, you aren't going to have any other players to interact with until you open the chemical plant. But what I did was I went through and cleared it out normally, and then I'm going to show you guys pretty much the path you want to take in order to do this probably the fastest and easiest. So I recommend from this room, you could go left or right. I'm going to go right. And again, here you're going to have armored enemies everywhere. You can kind of see the dead bodies and stuff for the things they dropped. So armored enemies in this room. You're going to have armored enemies in the next room right over here. There's going to be a bunch of them here, so be careful for that. And then as you keep going forward, there's going to be more armored enemies. And then when you reach this room right here in this corner that I'm about to aim at, you can see right here, that's where you're going to find your sentry gun. So be very careful here. The sentry gun can and will down you. Then you're going to have a bunch of more armored enemies here. But when you reach the back of this room here, this is where you're going to want to put your makeshift power supply. This is where your first car battery and jumper cable will come into play. You can see right here, I have that I've brought in with me from Al Mazrah, and then you have your other car battery and jumper cable that you can find here. Now, while looting for the car battery and jumper cable, I did manage to find my bottle of liquor. You can see it spawned right here, so I just grabbed it, put it in my inventory, save that for later. But in looting, you are going to want to find your extra car battery and jumper cable. Here you can see I found the car battery on the shelf. It's always going to be either in this room or the room that I was just looting upstairs. And you can see the jumper cable right here on the shelf. So you can see, put that in your inventory. And then there are night vision goggles that you can also pick up. And I also left this in here just to show you that there's always going to be enemies respawning from the elevator. So just be careful for that. You don't have to worry about PvP right now, but there is going to be these armored enemies which are going to be very, very annoying. You can see a fire shotgun does really good damage against them. But here, just pick up your car battery, your jumper cable, and your night vision goggles, as well as your liquor. So I'm going to pick this up, and then we're going to make our way back upstairs to show you guys everything that you need. So here you can see my battery and jumper cable that I dropped earlier, and then here's my other car battery and jumper cable that I just found, as well as the night vision goggles, and the liquor is in my inventory. So you're going to want to pick up a car battery and a jumper cable, and you're going to want to go put it in the makeshift power supply right here. That's your first one done. You just have to make one more. That's why you need another car battery and jumper cable. Now I'm going to pick up my night vision goggles, and you only need one. I have like 3 jumper cables there, even though I only need one. So you can see here I decided to drop it, and then I only needed that one extra one. Now after this, you can open the door right now and keep going. However, if you didn't find liquor, or you still need to find night vision goggles for your team and stuff like that, you can make your way down here. You can see another sentry gun is going to be located here, and I'm just going to destroy it. You can see just melee it from behind, and you should have no problem. But from this point, once you open these double doors, armored enemies are going to be here. They're going to be in that little medical area. You're also going to have another sentry gun right here in this corner, so be prepared for that. You're also going to have armored enemies in this locker room / hallway area here, so just be very careful. But you can find liquor. You're going to see it right here. I was able to find another one right there. So look around, and if you need night vision goggles, let's say you're in a trio or something, you can find night vision goggles here. That way you can make it a little easier when you're running into the chemical plant, because the chemical plant is going to be pitch black, so you are going to want to have night vision goggles. If you know your way around, if you're like a Koshai complex expert and you don't need the night vision goggles, you can run around with it without them, I should say, but I just always recommend having a pair on you just in case. So you can see we're going to run back now, and after you open this bunker door here, you will enter the chemical plant, and that's where you're going to be able to run into enemy teams. Now there's a chance of running into enemy teams. Now whether or not you do in your game, that's completely random. You can see, press that button after you put the makeshift power supply, and you're going to hear this alarm. When you hear this alarm, not only can you hear it, but every enemy team that's going to be in the chemical plant can also hear it. Now you can see as I run out, I'm going to run to my left, and what I'm going to do now is open Alpha Cluster first. That way we have the door open already. So you can see it's very close to where we spawned in. You don't have to run too much. Run over here, you can see C/1, that's where we want to open. And we're going to run towards this little makeshift power supply here. Insert your jumper cables and car batteries, and then as you put that there, you are going to want to open this button right here, or I should say press this button, and it will open the bunker door. Don't go through it yet. Now make your way back, and you can keep going straight across. If you know where to find the server admin key in the crawl spaces, that's what you want to do now. But just in case if you're not too familiar, I am going to just trace my way back into information extraction where we came from, and I'm going to give you another point of reference to go look for the server admin key. That way, like I said, if you're new, you can follow this easy with no cuts and everything, because I do not want you guys to get any confusion on where I went and stuff like that. So you can see, make your way down here, and you're going to find 2 crawl spaces. You can see this little building right here in front of me to the left. There is a crawl space in front of it and behind it, and this is where you're always going to find these keys. Now, there is a chance a player might have taken it and might have opened the door for you anyway, or you may kill them and find it on their body, whatever, right? But if you don't find it, just know they always spawn in these crawl spaces. Here you can see the factory admin key. That's 1, and I was able to find another one in the same crawl spaces, so 2 can spawn at a given time. You can see I'm showing you what it looks like in my inventory and stuff like that. But you're also going to want to go and look in this direction. You can see I found a second one. Now you only need one to do this, you don't really need the second one. But if you don't find it in any of these crawl spaces, straight down to my right, there is going to be another set of crawl spaces, and you can just pretty much look through there. And then once you find it, make your way towards the opposite side of Alpha Cluster. You can see I'm making my way to the right here. And again, I do know this map pretty well. It's not super confusing. There are maps on Reddit and stuff like that. If you go to Google and just type in DMZ Koshai Complex map, pretty easy to follow, pretty easy to find. But you can see you're going to make your way to the edge here, and you're going to find this I call it A2. I know it's like a Russian alphabet symbol for something, but I had completely forgot at this point. But you can see A1 and A2. I'm going to make my way over here to A2 just because I'm more familiar with this path and I like to use this entrance anyway. So I'm going to run up to it, and this is where you're going to insert your factory admin key. I'm going to go and insert key, and it's going to open this door in front of you. This is going to lead you to the shopkeeper where we can trade the liquor to get our code. Now you are going to have a sentry gun down here, so be very careful with that. It can down you. You can't run behind it and melee it, so you're going to have to shoot it or use your grenades or whatever. I just happened to use drill charges and a thermite because I was trying to save ammo, but eventually I just realized I had to get it done either way. So just destroy that. And then once you see the scrap little pop up here, it's gonna confirm that the sentry gun is dead. Then all you gotta do is walk past it. Now do be careful when you enter this next room. There can be enemy players in here, because if you want to go kill the sniper and the rhino, there is gonna be players that try to do that most likely. So do be careful when you're entering this area. You can see there's armored AI. Fire shotgun helps do damage very easily, but you are gonna want to just make your way past them. And to your left, you're going to find the shopkeeper. You're going to see it in a couple seconds as I go to turn around here. The armored enemies can get pretty annoying. They will spawn in big numbers, so just be aware of that. You can see shop right there written in red spray paint with an arrow. You're just going to want to go in here, and you're going to find a smiley face there. And as you enter here, you're going to see 2 buy stations, and you're going to see the dead drop right there that says drop. As you approach it, that's where you're going to want to open it and then put your bottle of liquor. So you can see I'm going to go and put 1 bottle of liquor in, and then I'm going to get a code. Shopkeeper's code for me was 811, and as you stow it, I mean, you don't have to stow it, to be honest. You can just write it down and then run over where you have to go, but I just left it in my inventory. And it says a code for a door between the chemical plant and the alpha cluster. Now, I have had times where he's given me a 2-digit code, so if that's the case for you, just try to put a 0 somewhere. It's either the first number, the second number, the third number. Just try to decide what it might be. But if you had a 3-digit code, it should be just fine. So I'm going to run back over here. And now when it comes to going this way, just follow along if you're exiting the chemical plant the same way. And again, there's not going to be any cuts or anything here when it comes to getting towards it. That way, if you're new, you can follow along very easily. But make your way here. And as you start to run here, just remember there could be enemy players. There could also be AI that are going to start shooting at you. I've had several times where I've almost died running through the AI here, so just know it can get pretty scary down there. But as you approach C/1 here, this is going to be alpha cluster that we opened earlier, and you don't have to go any farther than right here. I'm going to take my night vision goggles off. You can see it says POI visited, entering alpha cluster. Here you're going to have a door that's stuck, and then here's where you can input your access code. So again, you can see my code is 811, so I'm going to put 811 in the keypad, and then I'm going to open the door. And then as you open it on the left here, you're going to find the Russian gas research documents. This is what you need to exfil with. So now that you have that in your inventory, all you have to do is exfil. Remember, since this is alpha cluster, people may be doing other objectives down here. There are other missions that call people to go over here, so you may run into enemy players, you may not. Whatever happens, just try to pay attention. You can see I called the elevator. It's here. I'm inside. All I gotta wait is for it to close. So you can see door closing, run into the elevator. That's all you have to do to extract. And all we're gonna do is let this play out. I wasn't recording this while I had the mission equipped. This was recorded after the fact, so you should get the mission pop up once you complete it. But that's gonna do it for this video. If you found it useful, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell so you don't miss another video. Drop a follow on my Twitch, twitch.tv/monkishjam0. Ring the bell so you don't miss another video. Playlist with all my DMZ guides will be popping up on screen now. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.